Hey, this is René, welcome back to another programming tutorial on this channel, and today I will show you how to trade any indicator that draws arrows in the chart. For example, here in the background you can see an indicator already. It is the entry points pro. You can find it in the MT5 or MQL5 store. I just saw that this has a lot of downloads, so I wanted to use a program that a lot of people know, but this works with any other indicator. The process is always the same, so I will show it to you for this entry points indicator, but you can do this with any other indicator if you follow the steps that we will do in this video. So you can see here this program, it draws these arrows. There are red arrows and blue arrows. Red arrows pointing downwards, so they indicate sell signals, and blue arrows, they indicate buy signals. And you can trade these signals, and then you should, in the best case, make a profit. But this is not what it is about in this tutorial. I will just show you the programming part. So let's go to the MetaTrader 5. Oh, and by the way, if you do not have this indicator in your MetaTrader 5 already and you want to follow the tutorial exactly, you will have to go to your navigator in the MetaTrader 5, open this indicators folder here, then right click the market or just right click indicators, then you say buy from market, and here you can say entry points pro, and then you will find the indicator here and you can say download demo or test or whatever it says. So what we can do now is we can open the meta editor. You can click on IDE here, or you click on tools, meta quotes language editor. This is a code editor that we need to write the code and to compile it later on, so we can make a executable software that we can use to trade automatically. So we click on new in the upper left corner, click on next, and then we choose a name. For example, arrow indicator trader. Maybe we can even make a program that's really that can be used for multiple indicators. I think that would be a good idea. So first of all, please rearrange your code like I do here. So we will just erase all the gray lines, and also I like to rearrange my brackets a bit. You do not have to do the bracket thing, but yeah, I like to code like this. So what we do when we trade with indicators in MetaTrader 5, we always need a handle. And this handle is usually defined as a global integer variable. So we can say handle like this. So int is just the type of this variable. This is a integer data type variable. The name is handle, and the semicolon means that we end the line. If we compile this, everything works. So what we do in the onInit function now, we put a value in our handle variable. Integer variables can hold values like this, so any value that is a number pretty much without a decimal point. So I want to have the return value of the iCustom function. And here I can use this iCustom function, and you can read it in the MQL5 reference, which you can open by clicking on Tools, MQL5 reference, no, it's Help MQL5 reference, and then you will find the iCustom function here if you search for it, and it says that it returns the handle of a specified custom indicator. And this is great because we need a handle to store this in our variable. So we have to provide several parameters, and you can read about the parameters here in the documentation. The first one is the symbol. In most cases, like 99% of every cases, you will just write underscore symbol, because this will automatically use the current chart symbol. Then I write the period, and the period could be period current, which is the current chart time frame. Then we have the indicator name, and for this reason we will create a input variable. So we can say input string, and we can say something like indi path, or path to the indicator, and this will be, in our case, because we want to use this entry points pro for MT5 indicator, we will choose market, and then entry points pro for MT5.ex5. So this is the path that we choose. And why do we choose this specific path? The path always starts in the indicators folder. So if we have a look at our MetaTrader 5 indicators folder, just follow these steps. Indicators. In this folder, we will have to go to the market subfolder. This is why we write market here and then these two backslashes. And if we open this folder, we will find the entry points pro for MT5.ex5. I could also copy this and paste it here, but I mean, I already wrote it. So if we compile this, we can now provide this path as the indicator name, because this is what is required here. And now we could do it like this, but this would give us the default parameters for this indicator. If you want to change the calculation of the indicator, you would have to have a look at the indicator parameters, which you can see here, for example, in the strategy tester, and you can see there are several parameters. I could change them, which means that I take the order they are listed here and just write them one by one here, separated with a comma. For example, like this. This would be like the first input. Then we have false. Then we have a string input, which we just skip using this empty text here, and then we take the next parameter, which is false again, like this. And if you want to change the settings that your expert advisor uses for this indicator, you can just change it here. You can say true, you can say 2000 or 200, and the indicator always uses what is defined here. So the expert advisor does not care what indicator you attach to the chart, but instead it takes all the parameters that are listed here. But for now, I will leave it blank. So if I do it like this and only provide the symbol, the time frame, and the path, it always uses the default settings of this indicator. So what can we do now? We need to have the signals now, right? And what we learned already is that we get these buy and sell arrows. And now I want you to do one thing. Click on View in the strategy tester. Click on Data Window. Oh, and by the way, if you did not open the strategy tester yet, I will show you the process. So I assume that right now you already downloaded the program and it is available here in your indicators market folder. So you should see entry points pro for MT5 here. Then you go on View Strategy Tester. Then, you go on Overview, Indicators, and then you can choose the indicator here in the drop-down menu, and then you can just click on Start. This will automatically open the test. It is a visual test, and it will simulate the historical signals with historical data. So you can see they are built here. So what we can see here is how this indicator works. So the next step you should do is have a look at the indicator in the strategy tester, and you should have a look at several things. First of all, you need to know when these arrows appear. Do they appear for the current bar or for the last bar? But I think these are redrawing signals, so they might be changed. And it is usually a good idea to take the signals from the last bar, because often they will not be taken away anymore if you take the last bar's signal. So since we know this now, we have to figure out how to get the arrow data or the arrow signals. So if you click on View, you can click on Data Window, and this will show the data window in the strategy tester. And if you now take your cursor or your crosshair, you can hover over the bars, and you will see the data in the data window for this specific bar. So you can see whenever there is an arrow, this buy or sell entry here in the data window has a value. So for sell signals, okay, we also have sell failed, but we will focus on the real signals here. You can see now sell has a value, and here buy has a value. So what we have to do is we will have to start at the very top and then count these buffers. So the DEMA is buffer 0. It always starts at 0, or in most cases. I think there might be some other things to consider, but in most cases it starts with 0. So this is 0, this is 1, this is 2. So buy is 2, we will have to remember this, and sell is 3. So what we do now is we go to our program, and in the onTick function, this is a function that is on default in your expert advisor, and it is executed with every single tick. So you can create 2 arrays here, up and down, for example, like this. And these are double type arrays. So what is this? An array is pretty much an array variable can hold multiple values. So in this array, there could be 1, 2, 3, or 0 values. It can be extended pretty much. And double means that there are, numbers with decimal point or prices to be stored in these arrays. So we can now use the copy buffer function, which is a function which is a part of the MQL5 framework, and we can use this function to get data from any indicator that we defined in a handle. And since we have this handle, we can provide this as a first parameter. Now the second one is the buffer number. And this is important because we just figured out 2 is the buffer number for the buy signals. So we can choose 2 here as a buffer number. Then we have the starting position. This will be 1 and the count will be 1, which means that we want to have the value for the last bar. So this is bar 1. This would be 2, 3, 4, and the current bar is 0. And the count means that we only want 1 value to be stored in our array. And the array is the last parameter. Now we do the same thing, exactly the same. We only change the buffer number and the array, like this. And what we can also do is to keep it like flexible. We could say buffer by 2, and we could say buffer cell, also a number. And then we can say here buffer by and buffer cell. So now it is not hard-coded anymore, and you can use this program for many other error indicators. You just have to change the buffers and the path. So now we just have to figure out if the array size of this up array is greater than 0. And also we want to check if the value in this up array is not empty and the value should not be 0. So if you check these things, you can be pretty sure that there is a buy signal. And I can just copy this block and check the same thing for the down arrow signal. So if we do everything like this, this is a buy signal and this is a sell signal. So everything left is to open the position. So the easiest way to open positions is to include the trade.mqh file, because now we are able to create an object variable of type cTrade. This object variable can now be used to open, close, or modify positions. So we can say for the buy signal, we want to say trade point buy, and then we can define how our buy position should look like. We can say how many lots we want to open, and I would always recommend to make an input variable for this. So you can say lots. This is the lot size that will be executed here. So we can say trade buy, and then we use the lot size. The symbol is usually the chart symbol. And then we have a order open price. This can be 0. And then SL and TP, everything can be 0. So we can also like close the parameter list here already. And this is a buy signal then. And then we can also do the same thing for a sell signal. You could add many other things like take profit, stop loss, but in this case I just want to show like in a really short format how you can trade any arrow indicator pretty much. So in the end, if you wrote everything like this, you have to compile and then go back to your MetaTrader. And now we are still in the tester, but we click on overview, and now we want to do a visualized backtest for an expert advisor. You can choose your program here. In this case, we will use the arrow indicator trader, because this is a program that we just created, and you can choose any time frame. Let's go with M5 and any symbol here. And then for the inputs, you can just make the add the indicator path and the buffer. For this entry points pro, this should be correct, so we do not have to change anything, and we just click on start, and this will then simulate the backtest with historical data for the chosen period for this program. So you can see it automatically realizes that we are using this entry points pro indicator because we provided the path, and now we only have to wait until there is a signal, and then this signal should be executed. And whoa, this is not looking beautiful. We will have to make one more adjustment. What we know right now is that our code is working, but it is not working as it should. So we have to take care of one more thing. We should make sure that the code is only executed once in the onTick function, because I said before, this is executed with every tick, and we do not want to have like 1,000 positions per bar. So the easiest way to execute something only once per bar is to create a global variable, which could be named bars total. And then in the onTick function, we create another variable, which is called bars. And then we initialize it with the return value of the ibars function, because this returns the amount of bars in a specified chart. And we specify this by providing the symbol and the time frame, because now we can check if bars total is different than the value in this bars variable. And then, whoops, we update the bars total variable, so it makes sure that this code is only executed once per bar if there is a new bar in the chart. So if we compile the program again and run the program again, I do not change the inputs, I do not change anything here, we should see that now we execute the signals here. And only once. So you can see as soon as there is the sell signal, we open a sell position here. As soon as there is a buy signal, we open the buy position. And yeah, this is really cool, I think. So yeah, we do not have a TP or SL, but if you want to add this, watch some of the other free tutorials on this channel, or check out the links below this video and you will find a link to a complete MQL5 programming course where you learn everything about MQL5 programming, so you can build your own programs. In the end, I want to show you like one last thing, because you can see this works with the entry pro indicator, but it also works with every other indicator. So we will have a look at some other indicator. I think, for example, wait, let me check for another indicator. Yeah, for example, have a look at this. I now started a test with the dark point MT5 indicator. This is another indicator you will find in the MQL5 market. And you can see this indicator works a little bit different, but it also draws arrows, or circles in this case, in the chart. And if we hover over the bar, we can see the buy signals should have index 0 and sell signals should have index 1, I believe. So what we have to do is we have to make some adjustments. So we say for our program, which is the arrow trader here, we just say instead of entry points pro, we will trade dark points, or dark point, I don't know, wait, let me look it up. Dark point MT5 is the name, the buffer for the buy signals is 0, and for the sell signals it is 1. And if we now run the program with this indicator, you can see it automatically loads this dark point indicator, because now we create this dark point indicator handle and we also trade the signals of this indicator. So this is like how you can trade pretty much every arrow signal indicator. So yeah, I will show you the code one more time. You can copy it, make adjustments, maybe add ATP or SL. And again, you will learn everything on this channel. You can just watch some of the other videos. We do not even need this on deinit function. So you can see now the code is like really short, and you can just copy these 35 lines of code to have your own arrow indicator trader. So I hope you liked this little tutorial. I know that I did not explain everything in detail, like if statements, but I did this in a lot of other tutorials, and I do not want to repeat myself every single time. If you want to learn the basics, check out the link below this video to find the complete course. So in the end, thanks for watching, have a great time and good trades. Bye bye.